Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For this Throwback Thursday review, we're taking a look at the super action statue King Kazuma from the Summer Wars movie that was released in 2009. This figure was actually released in 2020 and it is the second King Kazuma articulated action figure that we have. They also made Love Machine, but I did not pick him up. So this is the front of the box. You just see the figure here. The side of the box, picture of the figure standing there. Back of the box, some poses you can get him into and some of the accessories that he comes with, like a stand, his hands, alternate tails, which is cool, and then two different head sculpts. And then the other side of the box actually has artwork from the movie of this figure. So it's pretty cool. Let's get this guy cracked open and take a closer look. And here is King Kazuma out of his packaging. And I think he still looks as good as the day I got him. I think I only took him out once and then put him back in the box. He has some really nice shading on his fur. He's not completely white, so the Figma that came out, which I'll compare him to when we get to size comparisons, is completely white. He does have some shading, and if I get in here close, he kind of looks like dirty looking with this shading, so that's very interesting. I've just only had him in the box, but I honestly don't remember him being completely white. I remember him having this shading on him, which I was kind of impartial to. The face sculpt looks really nice. I mean, that looks like him from the film. The goggles are nicely painted. The ears are nicely done. Have a dark brown to like a light brown up here. His hair is nicely sculpted. The jacket is very nice. It's not soft like the Figma, which is a huge missed opportunity. His belt, his little champion belt, is good. The shoes down here has his, his logo. Kind of looks like the Adidas logo and has his name. And then the bottom of the shoe, they're kind of supposed to be springing like rabbit's feet. And then his tail here, which looks really good, nicely sculpted. I normally don't buy super action statues, but I like this movie a lot and I wanted more figures from it, so it doesn't hurt to have a second one, or a second figure of this guy. I'm surprised nobody did the version where he has the well, after he's beaten up and then he comes back in like a new form where he's got the yellow hair that's down. If anyone's seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And I guess spoilers for a movie that's been out since 2009, sorry. But yeah, no, this guy looks awesome. And maybe he was completely white and maybe he's just yellow just sitting in the box, because his hands are white with like a gray overspray. But I honestly could not remember. On the side of the box, he looks pretty white, but I could have sworn he came out of the box looking like this. Anyways, for articulation, his head can look up about that much, look down about that much. He does have some side-to-side tilt just a little bit, and then it can roll around. I think his head is on, yeah, it's on like a straight peg, which I'm like, why did they do that? And the peg splits. I'm not a fan that they did that. Now he has another face sculpt that you can put on there, but definitely would have benefited from a double ball peg. Arms can go up about this much. He has a bicep swivel that's way up here. He kind of swivels down here at the elbow, and his elbow is a single joint, but it does get at least 90, so that's good. And you can kind of put it, close up to his face and body. You can get him in some cool poses. His gloves, this cuff is loose. It's like a loose floating piece, but his hands are also on these straight pegs, which I don't mind it on the hands, but on the head, I wish they wouldn't have done that. But you just slide them in, kind of like a Figma, and they just rotate all over the place. Pretty good articulation there. For the waist, the upper torso doesn't move at all, kind of wiggle side to side, but using the lower torso, trying not to use his hips, but you can kind of get him forward about that much. I think I'm still using his hips though. Yeah, it's about that much, and then coming back about that much, so not a ton. You do get gapping up here, and then he does have some side-to-side movement, and you can wiggle them all around. For the hips, this is as much as he can split. See if he has a drop down. Pretty sure he doesn't. He does not have a drop down. But he does have a thigh swivel up here. It's kind of tight. He does have knees that are not double jointed, but they get a little bit better than 90. They kind of twist at the top and bottom. And then for his feet, then go down about that much, go up about that much, and then he has a little bit of an ankle pivot. And then his tail is on a joint. I think this is actually the only ball joint on him is his tail, I believe. Yeah, his tail is a ball joint, which I'm like, okay, you put a ball joint on the tail but not on the head. Very interesting, but you can move that around however you want to. So yeah, I mean, his articulation is definitely something to be desired. Man, I wish another company would make another one of these guys, or like, you know, him and Love Machine from the movie, and really give us some killer articulation, like, you know, Sentinel could do it, or I don't know, maybe even SH Figuarts. I feel like SH Figuarts could do it if they put their mind to it. But yeah, I mean, he looks cool, aesthetically pleasing if you just have him standing there up and down. He has really nice shading, like on the pants is really nice, on the jacket's really nice. Like he looks high quality. It's just the articulation is not very fun to mess around with. But enough about his articulation. Let's get into some of the accessories he comes with. So for his accessories, he does have one other faceplate, and it's this angry one. I want to say the Figma came with this angry one too, but I don't know if it looked exactly like this one. Looks good. He has a separation here. If you take his head off, you could pull, I believe it's, you just tug. Yeah. So you pull down from underneath the goggles, and then you can put his angry face on, which looks awesome. That looks good. And then he has an alternate tail, which looks like this. So instead of being up, it's more forward. I don't know what this means in terms of bunnies, but maybe he's like calm, I guess. Don't know. He has a pair of hands that are splayed out, like relaxed, or maybe like about to grapple someone type hands. And then he's got a pair of more action-y, posy hands, maybe for like about to jump somewhere, or crouching down, or doing some kind of move. But these are only the other two sets of hands he comes with. Then for his final accessory, he comes with a stand. So the Super Action statue stand with the arm right there. I think these stands are pretty good if I remember. I haven't used one in a long time. I had them for my JoJo figures, but I never really used them. They kind of were too big and took up space. But yep, that's all that he comes with. I think the Figma, yeah, the Figma, I think the deluxe edition came with like the flag of the clan of the kid who like is this character or created this character, which was pretty cool. So I wish Medicom could have given us something like that. And you also got like the little squirrel version. I think the squirrel was not Love Machine. But you did come with a little squirrel looking sidekick too. With that version, so I wish he could have came with something like that, or maybe an effect part or something, because Medicos normally gives their JoJo figures effect parts, so just a punch effect would have been neat for him. But other than that, that's it. So let's get into some size comparisons and compare them against the Figma. Alright, and then here are both King Kazumas side by side. I think that Medicom takes it on proportions and just overall look. Like you can see his belt is bigger, way more detailed. The belt on the Figma is darker. It doesn't have like the yellow for the Oz logo, but it does have the blue for the little circles that are around it. Medicom has that as well. I like the gold on the Medicom, although it's very similar to the Figma. I think the Figma takes it on having this soft vest, which is really nice for articulation, although this vest looks really nice too. Would just rather it be soft. The face sculpts, very similar, but the Figma, I think it's just proportion-wise. Like the Figma could have just afforded it being like a little bigger, but I know this is like usually their scale. I like that the Figma has the neck articulation. They didn't do a ton of gradient, or any gradient really, for the ears, where the Medicom did. The gloves, very similar. No complaints there. I think with the Figma gloves, they didn't put these pegs like on each hand. You have to take them out and put them on there, where I like the Medicom, they just put the I don't know what you call these, lug nuts or something, on the actual hands themselves. The Figma is also one piece for the glove, where the Medicom is two pieces coming down to the leg and the feet. I like the separation on the Figma, where it separates from the actual shoes. You can get a little bit more articulation out of this, so you get a nicer ankle rocker there. versus this. So the Figma gets a little bit more range, but I mean, this one does a pretty good job too, but I think the Figma gets a little bit more range. And then looking at the tail, more detailed on the tail right here, less detail on the tail here. But yeah, I mean, which one do you like more? The Medicom or the Figma? I know both of these guys are probably super expensive to get now. This was the 10th anniversary version of the figure for Medicom, and then Figma came out like literally when the movie came out, or like not too long after the movie came out. So, and I don't believe they've ever done a reissue of this guy. But in terms of articulation, like the Figma, you know, has way better articulation. His arm gets closer up to his face. I guess the crunch is pretty much the same. But since he has like a soft diaper piece, you can get his legs up kind of far, where this one, and I don't think I actually showed that on the articulation, but I didn't show it because it doesn't do anything. Like, you can't really get his leg up. So that's the difference there. And then using those Figma joints, you can get his leg all the way back. So you can get a lot of great poses with the Figma where you can't really do that with the Medicom figure, unfortunately. Let me see if I can even kind of mimic that pose. They just take it on aesthetics, really. So yeah, playability, Figma, but looks and just standing there, definitely the Medicom. If anyone actually has any tips on how to like return figures to being like pristine white, I would love to know, because that's the reason, one of the reasons why I don't buy completely white figures, is because they turn this like weird yellow color after a while, even if you have them just in the box. But yeah, definitely more a fan of the Figma, but I do like the aesthetics of the Medicom. And here he is standing next to a Mezco, Zack Snyder, Justice League Batman, and a NECA Leonardo from the 1980s movie. I think he's real tall for these two guys, but you know, he'll fit in nicely if you want the Ninja Turtles to interact with him, because they're both animal type characters. That'd be good. And then you know, Batman kind of gets into anything, so you can definitely have them posed up together as well. And for anime figure comparison, here he is standing next to the Super Saiyan Full Power Son Goku and the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta with a different head on there. Again, I think he fits in perfectly. He is an anime character, so if you want to add him to your anime shelf or have him fight these guys, you definitely could, and it'll look pretty good. And for some domestic figures, here we have him next to the Jada Toys DJ and the Jada Toys Blanca. Again, he's big enough to kind of stand toe-to-toe with these guys. He's almost nearly as tall as, or almost as tall as DJ. His ears kind of put him above, or closer to. But yeah, I think they'd all look really good together. And last but not least, for Marvel Legends, here is standing next to an animated series Spider-Man and an Iron Man. Again, he's tall enough. He fits in nicely with these guys. Would definitely look cool in some pictures or in a display. So for final thoughts, I definitely like this figure. I mean, I picked it up just because I love this movie. I think it's probably one of my top 10 favorite anime movies of all time. But got the new, 4K Steelbook edition that just released. So definitely a huge fan of this movie. Big fan of this character. But I don't think I can recommend you go out and spend like upwards of $100 to grab this guy now, because the articulation just isn't there. This is the reason why I don't collect Medicom figures, is because they never have the articulation there. But the aesthetics are fine. I like the aesthetics. But the articulation for me, it's scary. I feel like I'm going to break it. I'm going to rub paint. And then they often don't really move that well, just in my personal opinion. But yeah, they did make a Love Machine. I do have the Figma Love Machine, so I did not pick this guy up, or that guy up from Super Action Statue. I felt like he was definitely not going to be able to move. The Figma was barely able to move, but he did look cool, and he came with all the keys. But yeah, so if you like this character, you just think he's cool, or just really like the movie, then I guess track him down, pick him up, just have him standing on your shelf. But if you can, I really recommend tracking down the Figma at a good price, or just pray and hope that they reissue the Figma one day for you to have. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this figure. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and if you guys seen the movie and if you like it. Thank you guys for watching. As always, take care and have a great rest of your day.